Welcome. I'm so blessed to be in conversation today with Imad Atrash, the Executive Director of the Palestine Wildlife Society, which next year will be in its 25th year. Yes, 25 years. It's an amazing, long, seasoned organization that has been caring for the conservation and protection of wildlife in Palestine, and also the nature connection with children and people and place and spirit. So I'm so blessed that we get to be in conversation with you today, Elder Imad, and there will be some time for you to open us in prayer and also open us in an invocation of the beings and birds there that I know you take care of and love. And I just want to offer some context to our call this morning. We are 6 weeks into, on this moment when we have this call, we're 6 weeks into the horrific attempted genocide and Israeli attacks on the people of Gaza. Some 13,000 people, including at least 5,500 children. Children make up nearly half of the population. And when such egregious violence and cruelty happens to people, it can be difficult to consider the land alongside that cruelty. But the land is also impacted. The land is mourning. The land is also being brutalized through these bombings. The land is also experiencing ecocide when the land loses their caretakers and their companions. The ecology is fundamentally changed with the loss of keystone species, with the loss of the beings who pray for the earth, who pay attention to the earth, care for the earth, for the children who play in the earth or in awe of the earth. Right now, we just had a bunch of folks out here on the land that I co-steward in Kashaya Pomo territory, and folks could literally feel the land here as well mourning and know that we're all on the same planet, and the land is feeling the loss of their people. So I pray that our conversation today can honor the many ways we're inextricably tied up with land and earth, and to notice the ways that both people and place will need profound healing after these atrocities, and that there's also irreconcilable loss that we can't retrieve. So how do we care for what remains? And in times of this level of terror that we're witnessing, prayer feels like one of the only things that can offer us wisdom and comfort in this time. So I wonder, Elder Imad, if you might bless us before we get into conversation with prayer. Prayer for this moment, to acknowledge the birds of Gaza, of Palestine, and the names you call them by, to open us and bring us into our conversation today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for this introduction. Actually, as you mentioned, we are suffering a lot, and maybe we will ask our Lord to keep, first of all, the mother nature or motherland safe in all over the world, and to preserve and protect our people and childhood everywhere in the world. We are asking for Palestinian children in West Bank and in Gaza. We are asking God to save them. And I hope that we will not lose any more of our people in Palestine, West Bank and Gaza, and everywhere. God will, this is what we can do from the site of Nativity Church, where is it Jesus was born. We are always, every day, asking God to save our people and our nature. Thanks, God. I hope you will listen to us from here to any place in the world. Thanks, God.
Thank you so much for that prayer. And I'm praying that prayer with you. And I wonder if you might open us just naming some of the birds that are in those lands so that we might get to hear some of their names. And I wonder if you might speak to them in your language, so we can just hear some of those birds called out.
Actually, we have Palestine Sunbird. This is the national bird of the state of Palestine, and lovely bird, the same size, around the size of the hummingbird in USA. And but the difference between both of them, hummingbird can come backwards during his flying, but our national bird, he cannot, just going to the flower and that's it. But in 1750, they recorded in Palestine, it was Palestine, as you know, and they name it Palestine Sunbird. I will talk to him about him later, but there is some endemic species of Dead Sea Sparrow. We have some endemic species to our area, or in the different of countries of the Dead Sea and Jordan River. I will talk during my presentation. Palestine Sunbird were named in 2016 as a national bird. Plus, there is some history. I can talk about it later.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. So grateful to presence the Palestine Sunbird. And what is their Arabic name?
Asfur al-Shams al-Falastini. It's
Wow.
the same translation of Palestine Sunbird. Asfur, bird, Shams, sun, and Falastini as Palestina.
No.
And this is the same words in English and in Arabic.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful to hear that name. And I know we'll get to learn more about that being. So I'm excited to get to know them more. And I want to begin our conversation about the land. So much of the Western story and projection of Israel-Palestine speaks to the violence of the occupation of Israel and colonization and contested land, but we rarely hear in the West about the ecology of this land that is so contested. We don't hear about the flora and fauna that make up this place, that inform culture, that are a part of the fabric of Palestinian people's lives. So I wonder, to begin, if you might share with us more about the ecology where you are in Beit Sahour and the ecology of Gaza. And if you could tell us what you love about the land and wildlife in Palestine, and why do you care for the earth, and what brought you to that work?
Actually, one of the very important issue of the ecosystem and the landscape and the biodiversity in Palestine, if we will have it as a normal life without occupation, you can cross from Gaza shore, the Mediterranean shore, to Jericho. The Gaza shore, it's the sea level. And if you will go to Jericho through the mountains, this is a few hundred of kilometers. You can cross it within 1.5 hours or 2 hours maximum. But through that, you can cross around 5 ecosystems, which is never ever in the world such as these ecosystems in one point. And you can imagine, if it is 1.5 hours in the United States, you can just say good morning to your neighbor. But here, here you can cross different ecosystems from sea level to the semi-coastal line, to the western slopes, to the Jerusalem mountain, to the eastern slopes, and to the Rift Valley.
Mm.
This is the ecosystems and the landscape. Sea level, as you know, it's sea level. Semi-coastal line up to 200 meter above the sea level. The western slopes up from 200 to 1,000 meter, 1,000 meter. And then the eastern slopes, you will go down to 400 minus meter above the sea level, which is the Dead Sea and Jericho. And this gave us a good different landscape, fresh air, and also the bottleneck for the bird migration from Europe to Africa, as the piece of land from the river, Jordan River, to the semi-coastal to the coastal line. It is, not more than 150 or 80 kilometers, so it's around 120 miles. It's not so big deal. And more than, I will talk also, more than 500 millions of birds coming from Europe to South Africa. And this is kind of richness atmosphere, let's say, for the birds, for the flora. Flora, we have around 2,850 species of flora, including biblical flora and the trees, which is, if comparing with Great London, the city of London in UK, it's a part all the land, piece of land of Palestine. It's a part of Greater London land. Within this area in Palestine, as I mentioned, 2,850 species of plant. In UK, in all the Great Britain, it is only 1,000 species of plant. You can see the difference. And more details, this is very brief actually, but more details it will be with my presentation.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And will you share more about where you are in Beit Sahour, and just more about what brought you to your work, and why you love the earth and why you began to care for the earth?
We are located in Shepherd's Field in my town, Beit Sahour, the headquarters of Palestine Wildlife Society. It's only 1 mile away from the Nativity of Church of Nativity, from Jesus Christ was born. And my interest in my childhood with my mother, I were assist her in planting flowers and in our garden. And I grew up with agriculture background in my school and high school. And I worked at Bethlehem University for 13 years. And I did some of the courses which is belong to the Ecology of Palestine, Geology of Palestine, animal husbandry, or anatomy, plant and animal anatomy, and etc. And because I were in my Greek Orthodox Boy Scout group in Beit Sahour, we start with ecotourism as Boy Scout, also all the time as adventure Boy Scout activities. I started that in 1979. And I create with my capacity, the ecotourism activities, and we started training our school teachers and tour guides in ecotourism in 2000 in cooperation with Ministry of Tourism. And I am carrying an ecotourism guide, the only ecotourism guide among the Ministry of Tourism, the only person or guide. And we did many different workshop and training for photographers, for teachers, or tour guides, or public in ecotourism. And in 1982, I studied in Bristol, in England, biology. And within that course, I studied photography and being a press photographer in the first Intifada. And I'm a professional in photography since 1982 till now.
Wow.
Plus, I am giving all of my experience to my people. This is a message. In United States in 1996 in Arizona and in Boston with EDC, Education Development Center in Boston. We have been trained in nature conservation and protected areas with EDC and the U.S. Forest Services. And since that time, I am an expert in nature conservation, the flora and fauna.
Wow, excuse me. Thank you. Love hearing all of the time of your work and yeah, the decades of care and the decades of bringing people into connection and being a witness to that land. So I'm so blessed that we get to speak with your expertise and learn from your expertise and your attention to the land there. I'll pose my next questions, but I wonder if you might just weave those answers into your presentation and then I can share the screen. So we're going to hear a little bit more from you about the work that Palestine Wildlife Society cares for,
Yes.
and to also hear from you about how occupation and apartheid impacts wildlife and the earth and Palestinian people's connection with the earth and wildlife. What have you witnessed happen to this land throughout your 60 plus years, and how has the land been weaponized against their people? And what do you anticipate the impact of the violence and genocide on Gaza will have on the earth and wildlife and ecological and cultural memory? So I know you prepared a presentation to touch on the depth of those questions, and I can share my screen so we get to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you for let me be with you. And this is, I hope, a good start between both our organization for our future to benefit our people and nature. This is Nablus, Mount of Gerizim, where is the Samaritan people before 3,500 in our left hand, still alive with a small community. This is the small number of indigenous people who was living in Palestine in the past and still keeping their traditional life till now before 3,500. They are belong to Prophet Moshe. Our organization, this is some of our activities. We'll talk in every single slide later on how we are dealing with people and with animals, with youngest generation, with oldest generation, stakeholders, all these kind of target groups of Palestine Wildlife Society. The Palestine Wildlife Society was established in April 23rd of 1999 in three topics and goals: nature preservation, connecting to species, habitat, and sites, empowering people, doing a lot of environmental campaigns among the school children, university students, public stakeholders, different NGOs, non-governmental organization, and official bodies like Ministry of Agriculture, Tourism, Environmental Authority, Equality Authority, and others. The third one, the environmental sustainability, where we are trying to use the biological control or depend on solar panels or solar energy or renewable energy or biological control in general, like the using the barn owl boxes in the field of agriculture to control the rodents in the field. And it was the first project supported by Merck USAID in 2006. Our logo, it's caracal, one of the wild cats, similar of Linux, brother or sister of Linux, but this is connected to our Rift Valley area ecosystem. Among the Rift Valley, which is around 22 countries from Turkey to Mozambique, included Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Djibouti, Egypt, Sudan, and to Mozambique, 22 countries, and that's the most important animals we have endemic to the Rift Valley. As I mentioned before, we have thousands of plants, we have hundreds of species of birds, and we have mammals, different number, but some of them connected to the Mediterranean ecosystem and the Rift Valley. And this is caracal, our wild cat. And you will be surprised if we have a scorpion, call it Jericho scorpion. We have many different species of flora and fauna endemic to Palestine. As I mentioned, we have the national flower of Palestine, and we have the birds, the national birds of Palestine. Iris Facqua, it's Facqua, it's in Arabic and English the same. It's located in northeast of West Bank, east of Jenin district. And this is, as you know, this is a small 1 hectare of dunum, around 400 to 5 dunums of land. This is belong to the Iris garden in Jenin, located in the same habitat of the iris. And it was mentioned in 2016 as a national flower of Palestine, and it's lovely species and endemic to Facqua land, only in the world, in this 10 hectares in Palestine and in the world, located only in Facqua land. Palestine Sunbird, this is our national flower, national bird. As I mentioned to you, from 2001, we start campaigns to nominate this bird as the national birds. And finally, in 2016, our authority president and the council member mention and document this bird as the national bird. And as you can see, it's similar of the hummingbird. Maybe for a while you will see this is the same, but different behavior and different color. Why it's sunbird? As you can see, all the colors it's there. Red, orange, black, blue, gray, and this is male. And
Mm,
female just only gray. Different, always in birds are difference and beauty in colors and song to
mm,
attract ladies, the females. This is fact. This is God, gift to us and to
mm,
the nature. Uh, the PWLS headquarter. In our right hand in the top, this is our headquarter, which is just only away from the Nativity Church, where Jesus Christ was born, and we are happy for that. We have two floors, the second and the third one, and this is my colleague Ibrahim dealing with our stakeholders in the field and in the offices, and he's very active. We've been together since 1999 till now, and before that, before the establishment of Palestine Wildlife Society. In the establishment of Palestine Wildlife Society, it was a group among a group of teachers, school teachers, and we create a small program called Children for the Protection of Nature between 1993 to 1999, and then 1999 we've been a little bit older. We get been involved with an national organization as Palestine Wildlife Society, but recognized by international organizations. We have four sections at our offices. The one in our left hand in the bottom down, this is environmental or an eco salon, which recently we are trying to open a channel, a TV, nature TV channel, and it will be led by my colleague Ibrahim. We are dealing, as I mentioned, with the school children, university children. During the pandemic 19, we've been giving our lectures through the meeting through this Zoom, and many different activities. We will learn more. This is some of the exhibition about our activities among our all of our projects since 1999 till now. And of course, we are thinking about the green thinking. As you've seen in the solar panels, we are working in our offices by solar panels, and we are trying to explain to our people that the sun here, it's appearing all around the year, not more than 2 weeks of raining all over the year. And this is give us a good advantage to use the solar panels on a grid, not off a grid, on a grid connected to the electricity company, and we are giving them free of charge the rest of our product of solar energy. And we have a laboratory we have a library, we have a lecture hall for training and meeting our stakeholders. We are having around 40 to 50 chairs. Participant can use it in one time.
Mm.
Flora and fauna of Palestine. We have the lowest level of flora, which is the parasites plants. And this is Sistanchi, the yellow color, on our right hand. We have 100 of lizards and amphibians in Palestine. We have mammals, as you can see, this photo of lion and gazelle, mountain gazelle in Jericho, in the oldest town of Jericho, it was created before 10,000 years ago, Hisham Palace and Tel Jericho. Plus, we have around 80 species of mammals. As bird, I mentioned, we have 550 species of birds. The largest bird, it is the griffon vulture or the black vulture, and we have golden eagle. As you have bald eagle, we have golden eagle. Our logo of our state, it is golden eagle. And we have the smallest size of birds, as I mentioned, Palestine Sunbird. And we have around 500 millions of birds crossing our region in every season of migration season. We are Palestine and our region, it is as a bottleneck for the 500 millions of birds every. We have two seasons. We have two major seasons. We have autumn, we have spring. Autumn, we have from beginning of 15th of August up to 15th of November. A few days ago, the migration stopped from Europe. Now they will located here in Palestine, some of them, and most of them, they go to South Africa. And we have some endemic species, as I mentioned. We have a globally threatened species, like the golden eagle, griffon vulture, Egyptian vulture, black francolin, and other species. Next, please.
And Elder Imad, what is this bird with the orange beak right there?
This bird is chukar, mountain chukar. We have three kind of chukars: desert chukar, mountain chukar, and black francolin. And both of them, the desert and the black francolin, located in the eastern slopes and the Rift Valley. Black francolin is endemic to the Rift Valley. And all of them threats by the hunters, Palestinian and other people, as they are hunting and for food. Desert, it's agama. Okay. A part of our activities, we create a wildlife rehabilitation center. And in 2008, we signed an agreement with World Society for the Protection of Animals in UK to have an agreement of on animal welfare. And since that time, we create the small corner of wildlife down there in our down in the bottom. This is located in my town, Beit Sahour, and we educate the little kids how to love animals and how to be so friend to the animals. as a part of the activities. It was, a little bit for as a bit zoo, small educational, not a real zoo, it's educational corner. Plus, because we are specialists in wildlife, we have been rehabilitate and give some medicine to the birds and animals, and then release it back to the nature. Plus, we have the donkey program. In the Bethlehem district, we treat 1,000 donkey. As a donkey, in our culture, we are seeing the donkey as a lower animal, lower level of animal. And we taught the farmers and the little kids how to deal in a very harmony way with donkeys, and to give the medicine to the donkeys, and explain to them and teach them how we have to behave in very well way, plus give them the donkeys as food, as water, as health, everything. And we succeeded. We have been in the last 10 years, we treat more than 1,000, and with the cases around 5,000 cases. Through our campaigns, the donkey campaigns in Gaza, it was in 2008, the first war against Gaza. We have an international campaign with animal welfare organization, collecting some donation to help the animals, the livestock animals, included camels, cows, sheep, goats, to give the people milk and meat during that war. And I hope that we can do more campaigns starting from next week, or from today, actually. We have updated our website. We will talk about it later. But now we are trying to do some donation campaign to support our people and animals in Gaza, and even in West Bank, because there is many communities need some support. In research, we have been doing some of scientific research as a nature conservation organization. The nature conservation activities, it's not far away from us. We, in our laboratory, we have done some research and seedling of the endemic species, the endemic plant species in Palestine, which is they are globally threatened species, like the iris Facqua, like Bilivelia, Warburgi, one of the one in our right hand, the green and the black from the seed. And we succeeded in very high level of science. And now we are doing back some good work to replant the seeds back to the nature, because it is, according to IUCN and BirdLife International, it's a red list species. Now, thanks God, in the last 5 years, we have succeeded in the scientific way of replanting and back to the nature, without any using tissue cultures and etc. From nature to the nature. Plus, you can see the barn owl boxes and kestrel boxes down there. We are putting them in the Rift Valley and Jericho because they are using the intensive agriculture in nature during the year, because most of the land can use it, the farmer can use the land there 9 months a year, and they are doing some of the using pesticides and chemicals against the rodents, and we will talk about it. But it was firstly in 2006 funded by Merck USAID as a regional project, and succeeded. We have installed around 300 boxes in nature. And this is minimize using the pesticides and to have as biological products more healthy for the people, for nature, for the water, for everything. And one of our success story, as you know, this is a white stork. A white stork, it's European species, bird species, لقلق أبيض in Arabic, and it was breeding in Palestine for first time ever in the history, north of Jericho. Last year it was two of them breeding, and we gave them the Palestinian nationality to European birds. And we are proud of that, of course. And BirdLife, BirdLife International, we're happy and glad to have this record in Palestine, in the land of Jericho. And we are proud also as Palestine Wildlife Society to have this kind of stories as a successful stories of our monitoring of the flora and fauna in Palestine. As I mentioned about animal welfare, we are doing empowering people activities. There is some of always they are all the societies have the stray animals, and we have the let's say livestock and the animal farms. And we are care about them. We have a unit leading my colleague Ibrahim, and we are trying to help the farmers and to help the animals in the same time. And we used to have a vehicle, a mobile clinic vehicle, but according to our financial resources, we are stopped it at the moment. We hope that to establish it again, the mobile clinic, to help the animals in West Bank. Mostly, we are focusing on stray animals like dogs, and with the farms animals like horses or donkeys, plus the educational activities with our wildlife corner. Of course, there is a lot of very strong cases of donkeys, and we are trying to help them to keep them very strong animals in nature, because at the moment the vehicles, it's not allowed for the farmers to use it to go to their farms. We did the helping animals, donkeys, in purpose idea, because the farmers, they are not allowing to use the vehicles. Instead of the vehicles, we give some good treatment to the donkeys and farms and horses let the farmers use it to go to their farms, and easy to bring their things, to plow their lands, to carry their product, get it back to the cities of Bethlehem, and other cities in West Bank. And especially now, there is a very bad situation of the donkeys and horses in Gaza. It's heavy used because there is no vehicles using daily life in Gaza. As promoting slow tourism or ecotourism, we are sometime the first upper photo in our land, in our left hand. The Americans from different states of United States around Ohio State. Every year they are coming for connecting with us, of course. They are coming for a field visit in Easter time or sometime in Christmas time. They are interested in biblical flora and fauna, and we are bringing them to the indigenous people area, to the Dead Sea Mountain, with the Bedouin indigenous people. Like in our right hand, there's Bedouin families among the way from Bethlehem to the Dead Sea Mountain. And even for the little kids generation, the new generation, we are bringing them back to the nature, plus the tour guides and the teachers, school teachers, to educate them about ecotourism or slow tourism. And this is in very well stage at the moment among our society since 2000 till now, when we started promoting ecotourism. As a part of the ecotourism, we have traditional events like lettuce. As you see, this lady having lettuce. We have Boy Scout in Christmas time. We have celebration, all the traditional uniform, and especially about the old species of the agricultural plants or seed, like squash, lettuce, eggplant, grapes, olive. We have good events during the year, like cactus also. We have some good activities bringing the people to let them know about Palestine Wildlife Society first, and second about our goals, third to celebrate with them some of our these activities. Of course, a part of the ecotourism, we are supporting the local communities as their own home made as their local products. We are having at the moment some of the home shops from West Bank districts, from North and Jenin till Hebron, plus before the war in Gaza. This is a homeland, natural, without pesticides or chemicals, pure nature. And this is what we are trying to help our local communities to sell their products through us or through them or through the local market and our shops and supermarkets. Of course, one of our goals, not to go to the hotels, not the 3 stars or 5 stars. We are trying to help our local communities to let them host this is a French students coming from France. We have many different groups coming from all over Europe, let's say, and even United States. We are letting them stay at home. We walked from North West Bank, Jenin, to Hebron, around 325 kilometers. and sleeping in 13, 15 days at the local homestay. And this is only 25 bucks for each night with the breakfast, and let them feel and live with the local farmers and indigenous people, and they can cook with families. They can sleep on the ground, not in comfortable bed in the hotels. We are living with indigenous people and farmers in their houses, which they are evaluated in high level, these people. And mostly they are the youngest generation. They like to walk 15 miles, 20 miles a day. And this is, I hope that you will come, Brinty, sometime.
Mhm.
You and your family and your friends will promote to you some of the activities later on. But this kind of activities we are promoting among our societies nationally, regionally, internationally. And as our strategy, we have been trying and in cooperation with the American consulate in Jerusalem, in how to promote the production of biogas. One of the professor, his name is Thomas Callahan, from United States, and he came in 2010 through the American consulate in Jerusalem, and he taught us how to produce the biogas from the animal manure. And now the indigenous people in the eastern slopes among the Bedouins and the farmers, they are producing the biogas. This is natural gas without cost, only 500 bucks a once in a life. And you can have the manure gas all of your life, only $500. And this is nothing to the, at the moment we have the cost of the 10 kilo of gas, it's around $20. And every week or every month, they need one or two or three, gases to use it at home. But this is free of charge for the end of the life. And this is how we are thinking of the environmental sustainability. Solar panels, solar energy, biogas, biological control, all these campaigns and concepts, we are trying to give some of our people, some of our ideas to our local people. Plus, the media, they are helping us to promote our work in a year around and for all of our activities. And this is what I hold it there. It's the booklet of biogas, and it's a scientific and practical booklet for the farmers to let understand them producing the biogas. Now we will talk about the Israeli occupation since 1967. As you know, they get the rest of Palestine in 1967, and with their aimed goals for them for the occupation, they separate West Bank after the Oslo Agreement in three areas. Area A, which is should be controlled by Palestinian security and social. Area B, controlled socially by the Palestinian Authority, security by Israelis. Area C, controlled socially and politically by Israelis occupation. Now, this is in north of Jenin, north of West Bank. a separation gate, and the green land, it is a protected area, call it Rihan, west of Jenin. It is the oldest natural forest and nature reserves in Palestine, with endemic species of a plant, and they put it outside of West Bank territories. They have it now included, Area C, include the Israel in 1948. This is a plus for them from our side, 1967. Okay, this is the border, the official border. Now, this is a settlement or a colony, Israeli colony, very close to my town, between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. It was a national park, and you can see the greenest area in the left side. It was all national park. Now, with Israeli law in Israel, forbidden, it's allowed to you to cut any tree. Okay, but in this forest and the national park, what they do, they build the national park in a Friday evening. And because it's Shabbat, next day of Friday, Saturday, they didn't send the civil defense to stop the fire. And as you can see, the first part of the national park is gone. They start to build the settlement. And this is the settlement just 2 years ago. And now there is many thousands of flats in this area. This is just 1.5 miles from my office in Beit Sahour, in the Palestinian land of 1967. And now it's a city with more than 20,000 people there, created from the national park site. Okay. This is some kind of separation wall design. Okay. This is the gate from Bethlehem to Jerusalem in our left hand, and thousands of, and the first, if you can see the darkest photo in our left hand, this is the road. You can walk at least 500 meters from Bethlehem to Jerusalem, one by one. Early in the morning, when they open it at 5, they will stand the Palestinian people from 3:30 a.m. To cross the border. And you can imagine from 3:30 to 7 o'clock, they can cross, the Palestinians cross around maybe 35,000 people. They will cross from this small tunnel to Jerusalem with a lot of machines, checking bodies, refusing some people to go back, and etc. And this is the separation wall. It's 27 feet, 9 meters above 27 feet. And the one in our right hand, this is a kind of separation wall, plus the cement walls and the tower to watch. This the one of our left hand photo. It's inside one of the refugee camps in Bethlehem. They get the agriculture lands, and they put the separation wall inside the refugee camp of Haida, the opposite of the houses, and where the Pope, when he came to Bethlehem, he went to this exactly to this separation wall side to pray. And this is different kind of, separation wall, but to keep us to struggle against this separation wall and to keep us away from them. Of course, the landscape, destroying the landscape with different habitat, and the habitat always having the nests and the places where the birds like chukars, like stone curlew, where is the hedgehog, where is the animals are living in the land, and there is some of the animals suffering from these landscapes because some of the females were in Jerusalem side, in our land, in our left hand, in Jerusalem, and in our right hand, Bethlehem. And it's not allowed to the people, to the Palestinian people to use this land, even for the animals and birds to use. I will show you in other slide how. This is, of course, the destroying and demolishing the houses, the green area, the native species, all this, the habitat by Israeli occupation, bulldozers, and the olive trees. Every year, thousands of the trees are brooding and cutting because they are opening the bypass roads, the Israeli settlements, the separation wall. Every day, there is some cutting trees and by Israeli army order and demolishing the houses as you have seen in Gaza, but this is a work in all over West Bank, in all over the year. It's not stopping any time. And the Gaza war, destroying nature and people lives. And this is when it was the first time using the weapons, the chemical weapons, and the missiles. And it was in 2006 and created in 2014, 16, all the years around after 2006, I think, they are not stopping destroying our lives. Of course, now, if we are professional people and humanitarian people, we have to think about the children lives. You know, as you mentioned, more than 5,600,000 of kids are killed, and women's 4,000, they are a civilian. Where is the democracy? Where is we are all the time learning from the foreigner organization, gender equality, human rights, children rights, environmental rights. But I don't think so that since this war has a very intensive war against the human being in Gaza never ever happened in anywhere else. We cannot imagine how's the weapons used in this small area. It is, It's one street in New York. It's not an state or, a great state like Russia, the war against Russia or China or Korea or Iran or it's against small population in very intensive population in very small area. We cannot imagine this war how it will. It was thinking from the beginning between Israel occupation, United States, Europe, and they are sending troops to kill innocent people, plus as a human life, plus now you can imagine the pollution there. One of the little kids today gave some story. He's in 1 month he didn't get any bath, and the diseases on his skin and in his stomach and etc. Now I'm wondering about the health, the World Health Organization, what they are thinking about the environmental issues and the human lives affected by the war there. And unbelievable, results. We are crying on this kind of war. Why is that? And you can see the whole house is now destroyed. This is where I was thinking to give you an example. This is a separation wall between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. And you can see this small tunnel. The red fox female were in Bethlehem, and the red fox male, it was in Jerusalem side. He digged a hole, the male, and come to his wife. This is the animal rights. How you can imagine about the human rights. Even the animal thought in this kind of behavior, how he is planning to go to have his own family. What about our families and kids? Of course, controlling the water resources by the Israelis. This is the baptism site. As you know, Jordan River water coming from Tiberias, and Israel doesn't have the right for this water because originally coming from Mount of Sheikh, north of Palestine. It's occupied territories by the Israelis, Hermon Mountain, and this is a land between of the land of Lebanon and Syria, and the water coming originally from Lebanon going down to Dead Sea. And all countries and places around this, the water resources have the right to use it. But 85 of our resources, water resources, we'll see it's controlled by Israelis. This is the baptism. We're celebrating that on 19th of January from every year. The Dead Sea with natural resources. The Dead Sea, I don't know if you have been here or not, Brentino.
No.
I wish for a day for you with your family here. And this is the heaviest water in the earth. And it is like, let's say, above the sea level, minus 420 meters. It's below the sea level in 420 meters. And if you will leave your body on the surface of the sea, you will flow alone without any efforts. You can sleep, you can read a newspaper, you can do a lot of things. From the other side, there is the salty mineral, and the Israelis are using the 42 kilometers of the Dead Sea from West Bank areas, according to United Nations resolutions. They are using all the minerals and the salt and the other things as Israeli product, and they are selling for the ladies especially for their masks, for their bodies, and etc. as Israeli production. But originally, most of them it's from Palestinian side. And Jordan, it's in our the end of the photo. This is from Palestine side to Jordan side. Dead Sea, it's between Palestine, Jordan, and in Israel, but 42 kilometers belong to the Palestinian, around 26, 25 miles. The coastal line, before the war, as you can see, our right hand, our groups, we are teaching them about two things: scientific research in wildlife in Wadi Gaza, and the coastal line itself as now destroying everything. This is the sea level of Palestine, of the world also. Yes, please. But now it's finished. The water resources, as I mentioned, 85% of the water resourcing, let's say underground water, it's controlled by Israelis. And we are using the water, but as 1 liter, but the Israeli settlers using 3 liters and 4. And they are free of charge, but we are paying a lot of money. You know, our water, we are not having any control in that. A very limited amount of water, and we have all the time year around, especially in the summertime, the lack of water for ourselves to drink or to have a bath. We didn't have pools in West Bank. Even now, the percentage of pollution of the water in Gaza now, it's more than 100%. The pollution here in Palestine, we have some pollution which is under our cities, because no, there is no septic or water treatment projects, and the Israelis are taking our water, sewage water, to bring it to other West Bank area sea, and they are doing water treatment, especially in the eastern side of Bethlehem and Jerusalem, and they are sending that to north of Jericho, because the Israeli settlements there and south of Jericho, and they are irrigated the palm trees there with our even sewage water. And this is an equal behavior. They are controlling the Israelis occupation, controlling the land, controlling the water, the sky, all these kind of spaces they are controlling, because this is financial resources for them, with plenty of millions daily or monthly they are getting out of that. Please. At national level, this is very quick about the Israelis, what they are doing. About our national level, we have some bad behavior. Hunting, this is the Mountain Ghazali, Palestinian Mountain Ghazali. We have some bad behavior of our some people. They are killing the wild animals. And we are with Palestinian Environmental Authority and Ministry of Agriculture, with others, trying to have a Palestinian environmental law, implementation law, to let them stop this kind of killing, plus many other activities according to the environmental law. We have overgrazing in the eastern slopes because we have only very specific areas in eastern slopes as for grazing, but from two sides, overgrazing from Palestinian side, from our farmers, but with Israelis, they are confiscate and they are, bothering our farmers. They are getting the sheep's goats from the farmers to them. They don't want any of Palestinian farmers, indigenous people in these areas, as they are always mentioned, this is a military area. And after 20 years, we will not see any goats and sheep from now. The desertification, cutting the trees from side, overgrazing from the other side, climate change from the other side, and this is a big challenges for us in the eastern slopes of Bethlehem and Jerusalem, even in Jenin and Jericho, everywhere in the eastern side of West Bank. This is camels. We have camels, of course, maybe, yeah, maybe the people doesn't know about this camel. Of course, dumping side, because we don't have that much dumping side system. Our villages, people, and around their villages, they are burning the garbage and the solid waste. We are trying to help them in the 3 Rs: reuse, recycle, reduce. And at the moment, we have this project funded by USAID, actually, in western side of Bethlehem and North Africa, North Hebron. We are trying to educate our local society to use the 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, recycle, and repair. And we are succeeded in this project so far. Using the pesticide, the intensive pesticide, this is Jericho. Of course, this is against our rules. We are trying to help our farmers to use biological control in many ways, and as much as we can use it as fresh without pesticides, these fruits and vegetables. That's our aim since we started till now. We educated our farmers in Jericho. As I mentioned, it's 9 months of agriculture, of intensive agriculture in Jericho Rift Valley. But there is some good people now. They are following our roots in nature conservation, and this is we are proud of that so far. Regarding to the animal, stray animal, the animal point of view, as we see, this is a hyena, stripped hyena, poisoned from the carcass of the dogs and rats and cats, from poisoning them around the cities. And this is affecting our wildlife, especially the animals and some of the birds, like griffon vulture, Egyptian vulture, like hyena, like red fox, like wolves, and jackals. And this is, we are trying to educate our municipalities, groups in West Bank, not using poisoning, forbidden using poisoning, and we succeeded in many different areas, but not much because it needs a lot of effort and funds a little bit.
Mm.
We don't have a shelter for the dogs, the stray animals in general, not only dogs, but we are trying to have a shelter maybe in the coming future after the resources will be ready. As international level, the climate change, most of our people, audience, they knows the climate change, but especially in very intensive agriculture areas, sites, some areas in West Bank, like Tubas district, like Jericho district, like Jenin district, we have a lot of greenhouses. And this is against our rules as nature conservation. We are trying to educate our people to have this as mentioned natural product of agriculture or fruits.
Mm.
Yes, please. The ozone layer. We know this is north west of Jericho. You see the banana and the citrus farms. It's lovely area. And this is
Mm.
the Mount of Temptation in our left hand, whereas Jesus used to live for 40 days before Easter.
Wow.
And this is northwest of Jericho. The area, it is really one of very important area for raptors, birds of prey, nesting in these cliffs. And of course, there is a lot of greenhouses, but we affected by ozone layers and the climate change. Flu, we've been together with the Ministry of Agriculture, following the birds and getting blood from the birds to test it if it is have these bird species, especially the migratory species, bird species, if they have avian flu in the past or not. But we didn't find at all during all the campaign. And thanks God, only in some of the areas from the Israeli settlements, farms, chicken farms, poultry areas in West Bank, in their farms, not in our farms.
Mm.
Yes. Swine flu, we don't have it so far, but we've been with Ministry of Agriculture and Health. We've been together focusing in the animals' behavior, if there is something change or not, but we didn't find in human and in the animals. Thanks God.
Yes, thanks God.
COVID-19. We've been educated the little kids, starting from the little kids. The adult knows how to play with the water, but this is in our schools. Lovely kids, you can see the smile, and they are so happy. We affected by COVID-19 as Palestinian society, the same as the other communities in all over the world. But thanks God, the percentage were low, not that much high. And help us, little kids looking for
Mm.
the barn owl, and barn owl looking for us, how we can help each other, help nature, help people. And this is the mostly what I would like to talk about it in very brief in many topics. But at least you get some ideas about our activities, the establishment of Palestine Wildlife Society, our programs, our activities, our goals, and mostly Mostly, this is the vehicle where you use it, but now gone. It was old and sold it. 4x4 because we are in the field most of the time. Next, please. And we are working for you and for nature and for our people.
What
If
bird
you
is
have
this?
some question, this is the vehicle. It was donated by the EU.
And what is that bird?
This is a spore wing plover with its nests in Jericho. This is very hard, bird against anyone who will come to his nest. He can attack by his beak and the birds or and the people. It's noisy, a noisy one. I love him a lot. And this is a threatened species also. And this eggs belong to him. And this is the general information about our. If you can search for Wildlife Palestine Society, you find it in Google and YouTube. We have produced many films about nature in Palestine. We are trying to have a wider public in all over the world. Thanks for your effort with us to let the American society to know more about our organization. And of course, I hope that it will be more through you, more wider level to let the people, the public in all over the world, not only in the United States, to know about Palestine Wildlife Society. Palestine Wildlife Society, it was originally from one-man show to a very great and a big society in all over the world. But as you know, our challenges, it's a lot. 3 challenges during our 25 years old. We are faced for mostly from the 24, 5 years, it's mostly 5 or 6 years. It was nothing income but we survived until now. We were 11 people working, now only 6. We minimized the workers, the staff, but we are, of course, always living with the hope. And the same as Jesus mentioned about his example when he used to go walking in the field in nature. He said, looking at the tulip, how it's growing by alone without any assistant, and we are growing. And this hope, it's still alive in our hearts and in our mind, hoping for a better future for people and nature in Palestine first, and with equal with the other places in the world, especially the war areas where the peace will come again, inshallah, to everyone, every single one in the world. If you have some questions, I am ready.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and just get back onto our conversation. Just want to take a moment for those who will see this video. I know where we are, for those of us in the U.S., for those of us especially also oppressed by the U.S. government here, it's so painful to witness the implications as Americans of the support and violence and resource that is going into this occupation. on behalf of the U.S. government. So I know we are deeply, those of us who are also oppressed here in the U.S. feel so much immense pain, so much immense grief. And I know that there's so much love and prayer here moving. I see through Black and brown folks, through the Jewish community, through radical hearts and minds and spirits who do not want to see this suffering happen and who do not agree with this suffering. And so I just want to I'm just feeling our hearts. I'm feeling you all. I'm glad that you all are safe. I'm thinking of all of these beings that we got to witness. I'm thinking of these birds. I'm thinking of these foxes. I'm thinking of the hyenas and the gazelles and the owls and the raptors, and this place of ten, tens of thousands of years of prayer laid down, of prophetic tradition, of people paying attention to the land to receive scripture and to communicate with God and to communicate with spirit, that it's where you live in Beit Sahour. It's the space the angels come down to the shepherds because they're available and they're out and they're with the earth, and that's why they're available to be communicated with and to be heard, and to share the good word, to share the gospel. And I just feel so grateful for the immense knowledge that you took us through um, on this call. There was a lot of information for us to sit with and continue to explore. I know we'll want to maybe do something that accompanies this call where people can continue to dive into more study with all that you shared. And I just bless just all of the work that y'all have done over the past 25 years. It doesn't seem simple at all by any means, to continue to show up in the midst of the occupation, despite the occupation, to still, care for the earth, care for the water, care for the beings, care for the farmers. And so I just bless this work, and I pray that you all are blessed in your efforts. I pray that abundance pours down on you all through this work, and that those who witness this information and call are called forth to continue blessing your efforts there. And I so pray for a time when, I'm thinking I shared with you on our call that a friend of mine invited me to Beit Sahour right before October 7th, for Christmas time, and to come to that land and to pray. And it's a different time now, and I'm grateful to be in prayer from where I am. And I pray that there is a time where I can come meet you all and be there and be in continued shared community. Yeah, and meet the earth there.
We faced a lot of difficulties, socially, politically, financially, but we survived so far. We are, one of a few organizations who still worked hardly during all these difficulties. But thanks God, this is, a gift from God to us.
Mm.
I don't know because we are in Bethlehem, or because we are doing our great efforts to help people and nature, or to help the animals, even, the donkeys. God knows, on that issue, but at least, as you mentioned, 25 of years, it wasn't easy life for us. It wasn't an easy life, but with your efforts and with other people who is interested in our work efforts, I hope, at least not me, but the organization itself will continue for the future to be as Audubon Society in the United States, a great organization. We have some good cooperation with them, but looking for the governments in the world not only thinking about war, thinking about peace for every single one in this world.
Mm.
This is our dream, to see the peace everywhere.
Mm.
Peace for all, the same as Jesus mentioned, peace for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Elder Imad. And yeah, just so grateful for our time today. And I look forward to continue staying in touch and staying in connection and bridging continued study and efforts across lands, that all of our land is connected, all of these beings, all of this air. I know someone who was just here on the land that we care for in California was just remembering how we're underneath the same sky, we're still in the same air, our waters are still communicating and reaching us. And as Dr. King has shared, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so I feel deeply that we're all affected and impacted by this moment, but especially the people of Gaza, especially the people of Palestine. I don't take it lightly that you took the time to educate us, to be in conversation with us, the time it took to prepare your presentation, and take time away from the work that you're doing to share with us. I just really appreciate it.
Thank you for your effort. I appreciated me too. Also, my board member and my staff are looking forward to have you once here in Palestine with your family and organization, to live with us and to see how we are suffering and how we are living in both sides. And even suffering, we are struggle, peacefully. Beit Sahour, my town, from the first Intifada, it was highlighted in all over the world, and the United States have a veto on Beit Sahour people in 1989 because about the taxes case. We highlight we refused, first of all, we refused to pay taxes to the Israeli occupation, and we mention as in the past of the United States history, no taxation without presentation. This is, we learn it from the non-civilian resistance in the United States when they mention no taxation without presentation. I lived that period of time in Palestine, Beit Sahour. It was under curfew 42 days. And thanks God, we are from the first Intifada to the second Intifada till now, we are still alive.
May it continue to be so. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of those who will witness this, and pray that it blesses you, and pray that it accompanies you in your efforts in solidarity with all that is moving in Gaza and Palestine. Blessings.
You.